Well, hello, friends. It's probably obvious immediately that we are not in our Cessna citation Longitude 343 Bravo Whiskey. Instead, we are in our Cessna 172, which oddly happens to have the same identifying number, November 343 Bravo Whiskey. The magic of simulations. Anyway, we took off from Bryce Canyon Airport an hour and 23 minutes ago. This airplane is not as fast as the Longitude. That's putting it mildly. Right now we're doing 128 knots across the ground though, which isn't half bad. In some pretty rough air. It's been it's mellowed out a little bit here. I bet you know where we are if you take a look. This will just be a short video. We just came down here to do a little sightseeing. Take a look. What do you think? It's obvious, right? We are flying the Grand Canyon from east to west, right over the Colorado River. We're at 8,500 feet. I initially had planned to fly from our airport to Cape. Holy Moses! This so much for the wind, the turbulence moderating. It's still pretty rough, obviously. I had originally planned to fly to KGCN, Kilo Golf Charlie November, which is right off to our left. There it is. Grand Canyon Airport. Wow. He's got caught in a big downdraft. I'm on autopilot right now, but it's tossing us around quite a bit. Got to keep an eye on that airspeed right there. Anyway, I had thought initially about flying over here to GCN, and I don't know, maybe stay in the night. It is 5:49. Wow! Oh my God! Oh my God! Are you guys watching this? Airspeed! Yikes! Holy Christ! That's scary. There's not a lot of room for error here when it comes to airspeed. If our airspeed drops too much, we'll drop a lot faster. Anyway, we're leaned right now, as you can see, because we're at such high altitude, or comparatively high altitude for this airplane. 8,500 feet. As I said, I was planning initially on flying over to KGCN, staying the night, but I actually think I'm going to turn back to Bryce after I pop out the western end of the Grand Canyon here. Town here, right on the rim, the south rim. Yeah, once we pop out the eastern, or rather western end of the Grand Canyon, that's beautiful. Gotta make sure we get our gorgeous, huh? Nice. Anyway, I'm flying in real-time weather, so you can see actually the weather's probably not that ideal for sightseeing, just because it's a little cloudy, although got a little sun peeking through here. It's pretty cool how they do that. Actually see the shadow of these ridge lines on the ridge lines behind them. That's pretty cool. Anyway, once we pop out the western side, the western end of the Grand Canyon, we'll turn north. I could just turn... Oh my God, look at this rough air. I could just turn north now, but I'd have to climb. This doesn't look good, but it's above us. This is a terrain hazard. If I turn to the right now, we'd have to do some pretty significant climbing. And the higher this bird goes, the more climbing not only becomes a problem, but has to be done very slowly, very gingerly. So rather than risk finding myself in a situation where I'm headed towards a ridge line or a mountain that I can't successfully climb over, I'm going to pass to the western end of the Grand Canyon and then turn north, where there are fewer issues about terrain hazards. Fun to go exploring like this, though. While I'm thinking about it, I might as well go ahead and enter KBCE, Bryce, do direct to, and then K, B, B, C, C, E. And then we'll lock that in. And then we'll go down to activate. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. I mean, it's pretty cool. Beautiful Grand Canyon. Sunlight coming through now. Looks a little bit prettier. The sun shining on it. I don't know. I don't want to complain, but I feel like the landscape looks a little bit soft. The edges look a little bit softer than I would expect them to look. Kind of like I almost expect that they should be a little bit craggier. Now, in full candor, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. Can you believe that? Live in Southern California, never been to the Grand Canyon. So this says we're 93 miles from Bryce. So we'll get ready to make our north turn. The ETE, the estimated time on route, is not going down because we're not heading towards Bryce. That's the issue. But we will start our right turn. Now I could just activate nav on the autopilot and it would turn towards the airport. But I don't want to go direct to the airport because it would take me over some significant terrain. Boy, forget how rough the air can be this close to the ground. Anyway, pretty slick if you ask me. En route to Bryce, I'll probably actually try to enter a flight plan right here using the FPL button. You can see that FPL. Oh my God, I'm trying not to vomit right now just because of all the turbulence. Anyway, yes, I would enter the FPL because I still have the waypoints from when I landed at Bryce in the Longitude. Zugov, Kunya, Wabno, and KBZE. So I may actually do that. Or not. I probably take me about an hour to get back north to Bryce. That looks pretty slick. So anyway, if it takes me an hour to get back north to Bryce, then that means it's, the sun will set by then, which isn't a problem. I mean, the weather's good. I can do a night flight, night landing in Bryce, and we are really bouncing around. We'll start our north turn. There we go. And really enjoyed this tour of the Grand Canyon. Just absolutely beautiful. I am using my ForeFlight app, which is just indispensable in terms of hazard advisements and keeping you away from terrain obstacles and so forth. That looks pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for joining us for our bumpy sightseeing trip through the Grand Canyon. Sunlight looks amazing. Sunlight looks really amazing on the ridgelines. Anyway, thanks for joining us for our brief sightseeing trip of the Grand Canyon as we begin to head north back to Bryce. Get back to Bryce, tuck in for another night on the lake, and then tomorrow head elsewhere. Not sure where yet. But always enjoy time in the sim, and hope you did as well. Have a good one.